images of people by the side of the road, Las Americas, or on overpasses, searching for signals, like we were like lost in space. Tell us what it was like right out of the gate when you assessed and you got back the field reports, right in the aftermath of the storm.
Well, they were the 4 longest days of my life.
Okay.
Right
No sleep, right?
It was absolute devastation. I mean, 155-mile-an-hour winds. It was like this, panel of what we call our sustained. So we started bringing in planes. They talked about this. We couldn't wait before the Jacksonville. So we took the Antonov. Anybody know aviation here? The biggest plane in the world. The Antonov. There was an Antonov taking asparagus to Cuba. We said we need that Antonov right now, and we filled the Antonov with equipment with the Cessna experts who were waiting in Florida for what happened, and started bringing a total of 14 planes. With that first plane, we brought out a huge generator, which we lent to the FAA to turn out the airport radar, so we could have a functioning airport. Okay? We brought generators even, from other telecom companies, so we could start, as a survival mode. The experts we brought here are people who have worked with Katrina, people who have worked with Sandy, people who have recently worked in Harvard. Nobody has seen devastation. Sure. Some actually have been in the earthquake in Haiti. And some of the destruction that we saw here, nobody had seen anything like it. And then our third effort was the commercial. We started first using microwave. We had microwave ready and went on fiber optic. That's how we got our network back up and running, so people could use data. And then commercially, how can you start opening stores without power? Active as fast and everything as the size that we did, and we're extremely thankful, with overall team worldwide, the amount of resources that were plugged in. They were, we haven't invested or conducted as big an endeavor as Hurricane Maria has, anywhere to go.
Very good. JJ, with you, there were so many people without water right after Maria. Give me your field assessment of the damages. I know because you had remote areas and you guys did all sorts of wild stuff, taking generators to places. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Sure. I think one of the things that are important to state at this point is the magnitude that Plaza has. We serve 97% of the population with water, 59% of the population wastewater. We have 114 water plants, 51 wastewater treatment plants, 20,000 miles of pipe, about 1,500 tanks. So the magnitude of the utility island-wide, it's very large. So it's very difficult when disaster of this magnitude strikes island-wide, and it makes it very difficult for us to get to all the places that we need to get. And I think we had, just after Irma, we had recovered the system fairly quickly, about 90-some% the week after. And we were feeling pretty good about ourselves, about our emergency preparedness procedures, about our emergency responses. It's very difficult when you decide or when you plan for hurricanes like Irma. Results show that your procedures are to the magnitude of those type of disasters, and then you get hit. It was very challenging. We lost our offices. We didn't have where to go to work. Our main building has 10 stories. We could only use one of those. So we had a lot of people in the field taking care of the water tankers and the races, and we sometimes got asked why we have so many people in a water tanker, and the answer is we have no office. Right? And at the same time, you have your employees are going through the same situations as all the Puerto Ricans are going through.
Right.
They've had losses, they have no power, they have no access to cash, no access to communications, they don't know if their relatives are all okay. So we have 4,200 employees that showed up at work, and that was very important key in the response.
Can you share really how you wrap your mind around what actually went on once they told you? Because you're in your office, you have no idea, right? So the field reports coming back, how'd you guys figure out, okay, this is messed up, yeah, 53 and so on and so forth, all those lines. How did you sit down and map out a strategy so that you could somehow figure out how to do this? Because it had to be insurmountable.
Just start working. Just start coordinations with the local emergency offices. Start working with in coordination with the mayors, and it's always the goal. It's always the goal to get to your critical facilities first. It took us 2 days to lift our first helicopters. So therefore, we had limited visibility.
And I know from afar, sometimes, right, you see the forest a bit better, and you in hindsight.
Pardon me, you joined?
I joined RP Mapping
Right.
as a consultant for free
For a state company?
because of this assignment.
Oh, very good.
Because of the humanities side of the mission. The aspect of experience is that before Puerto Rico, I was working for Florida Power and Light. As you know, Florida is almost the same as Puerto Rico when it comes to like hurricane propensity. And I've experienced Hurricane Andrew and all sorts of disasters hitting the region. Florida Power and Light themselves did not really perform well in Andrew. I mean, who could perform well in a Category 5 storm hitting a certain portion of your grid? And luckily for Florida Power and Light back then, Andrew, even though it's Category 5, it only passed the peninsula for 4 hours. Unlike what Puerto Rico experienced back to back, that's a prolonged disaster. No one can survive that. However, the lesson that Florida Power and Light learned, and as you can see as they perform to the users, is how could you better deploy resources beforehand, no matter what the disaster is, so that you can at least perform your primary service to provide electric service. So, you know, you can see that preparation is key, planning is key. I mean, it doesn't matter water, fuel, or the lifeline systems. It's really the deployment of resources that you pre-plan and staff your people before the storm. Because at the end of the day, you cannot just, I know that devastation is uncertain, but you can, for sure, because of the trajectory of the hurricane, you can actually predict resources that you need. You can have a plan where you redeploy staging sites, all that kind of stuff, so that when the all clear is given, you have a process on how to methodically store the grid.
Okay.
And the big lesson there is you can do it because Florida Power and Light, I know they've learned a lot. Their goal actually is to restore whatever is restorable from the bulk electric system. I'm talking about the big lines within 24 hours. That's really their goal. So if a utility can do that, with willpower and the desire, I can see that can be done in the purpose.
And pre-planning, but how do you pre-plan when you have all of these other jurisdictions with the brigades over there? How do you get them over here? And what did you guys learn from that? Maybe perhaps thinking a little bit outside of the box so that you prepare for a scenario like that. Because I think that Irma perhaps lulled you into a false sense of security.
Lessons here are, there are various. Two that stand out is having your, it's not only the inventory, it's the lineup of adequate resources. At one point, our peak was almost 6,500 resources on the island among different skill sets. But I think the key blends are, what is the adequate level that you need to be, to have in place in order to be deployed. In our case at PrepRock, we've lost almost 2,500 employees in the last 4 years. And most of those personnel are key personnel. This was the key personnel we had to reach out immediately after the storm. And they were part of those first responders who would help our crews begin mitigating and restoring the grid until we finally had our contractors and we had the outside help.
I know that you guys had the KV 53900 and the KV 5300. Those are priorities. Across the month, have you done any building back better?
There is certainly, because of constrained materials, constraints on resources, actually PrepRock benefited on a lot of its infrastructure. We actually have lines that are in better shape right now than what they were before Maria. And this is even before getting into the restoration.
Okay, JJ, I know that as you're working your way back to normalcy, what are some of the improvements that you now have been able to make? Because I know that people were very concerned with the sedimentation problem even beforehand, now more so. And you also had Oaxaca. People drive by there and they're afraid that the cars are going to get washed away. So they want to know, where are you with that project? Is it now safer? I mean, where is it?
Well, Oaxaca is a dam that's owned by Prepa.
Yes.
But it serves, the Oaxaca service area has 4 water filter plants for process. So we've been collaborating and
You guys are working in tandem.
Oh yeah, all the time, to make sure that the works that they need to complete to restore the dam to its pre-existing conditions and make it stronger.
I think that the aftermath on not only Maria but the transformation of the energy sector is we need to diversify our sources. Clearly, renewables is a key component of the energy sector. We do believe the key component heading into the transformation are within natural gas shifting from either expensive or non-clean fossil fuels. I think natural gas, along with renewables, is the path towards the transformation of the energy sector in Puerto Rico. But in parallel to that, renewables, specifically solar, is a great source for resiliency on the island as well. Yes, we saw major destruction on a lot of solar farms, but there were solar farms that, by the construction codes that they entailed, were not even, they had minimal. How we're going to develop these 8 microgrids that will be interconnecting into the system.
And what's your take on when you look at the IRP in terms of what's feasible in the mix? Because you can California, right? Big state, 2,168 megawatts, and then Puerto Rico, that great diplomat, Donald Trump said, is surrounded by good water, right? So, I mean, tell us, is it feasible?
Yes, of course, but it's an evolution, right? If you look at the PREPA system, most of the generations is in the south, right? The southwest and southeast, and it's transported by big transmission lines through the mountains to mainly supply most of your load through San Juan. So think of it as 2 big generators and a big load in the north. So that's very susceptible to disaster or hurricane, especially the path of that storm. Wires go down, you can't transport that electricity to where you need it. So what's the strategy to transform it? You want to break apart those big generators into nearer, smaller, flexible generators that are perhaps nearer to your load. And that's when Fernando was alluding to, you want to subdivide almost the island network into 8 mini islands that are flexible. So if you have load centers that are really 8 regions, and you put generators that are more flexible near your load, you can have a more malleable grid if you have the right control system. And that's being designed in the IRP. The other aspect of that, the reason why you're using solar with batteries, of course, because solar is intermittent. If the sun doesn't shine, you don't have electricity. You need batteries to store them so that when the sun doesn't shine, it's almost a balancer. But battery does not have that sustainable supply either, right? It's 4 to 6 hours. So you need spinning devices. So you need smaller generators that are natural gas that have fuel efficiency. So think of that evolution from big generators through lines to the mountains, and now you break it apart to smaller generator areas, which are actually pre-designed by PREPA to.
We don't have preferential rates, and we do have we've had in the past, and that's something that's important to us because power is our first line of expenses and our operational costs. More important than power in a privatization scenario of PREPA is the water resources that they have. That's when PREPA was the so they own Oaxaca, and they own Patillas, not necessarily the hydros, but the water, right? So the Puerto Rico water though provides that domestic consumption is the #1 priority of water in Puerto Rico, right? So we need to make sure we do have an important topic in power and cost of power to process, but we also need to make sure that the water assets that they own are either transferred to Brasov and paid for complete, or they respect what the water law says here. The increased rates of water, if a private company is not rentable to sell water to Brasov at the current rates,
rates, then Grasa has to increase rates, right? So we need to secure those assets and keep them public. And that's something that's being discussed with both agencies.